Pacifica Radio, I'm Christina Onnested. Pro-Moscow officials say residents in all 4 occupied areas of Ukraine voted to join Russia. The Kremlin-orchestrated votes have been dismissed by Ukraine and its Western allies as illegitimate. The vote count in favor of becoming part of Russia was high, according to Russia-installed elections officials. 93% in the Zaporizhia region, 87% in southern Kherson, 98% in Luhansk. And the UN Security Council met Tuesday in New York to discuss the voting, with U.S. and Albania planning to introduce a resolution that says results will never be accepted and the 4 regions remain part of Ukraine. Eileen Alfandary has more.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky addressed the United Nations Security Council via video link. He denounced the Russian-administered referenda in Donetsk, Luhansk, Zaporizhia, and Kherson. He spoke through a UN translator.
In front of the eyes of the whole world, Russia is conducting this so-called sham referenda on the occupied territory of Ukraine. People are forced to fill out some papers while being threatened by submachine guns.
Zelensky said the referenda and Russian attempts to annex Ukrainian territory rule out any talks with Moscow as long as Vladimir Putin remains president. He also called for Russia's complete isolation and tough new global sanctions. U.S. Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield said she and Albania are teaming up on a resolution they will bring to the UN Security Council.
A resolution condemning these sham referenda, calling on member states not to recognize any altered status of Ukraine.
Russia's ambassador defended the vote as a long-awaited move to protect the right of Russian speakers in the 4 provinces.
The referendum were conducted exclusively transparently.
I'm Eileen Alfandary for Pacifica Radio.
Over 194,000 Russian nationals have entered Kazakhstan, Georgia, and Finland in the week since President Vladimir Putin announced a partial mobilization of reservists to fight in Ukraine. Thousands fled to neighboring countries, most often by car, bicycle, or on foot. Hurricane Ian is barreling towards the Florida coast, gaining top winds of 155 miles per hour, just shy of a Category 5 hurricane after battering the island of Cuba as a near Category 4, wiping out power across the entire island. Cuban officials evacuated 50,000 people. Florida officials ordered 2.5 million people to evacuate their homes along the southwest coast. Here's Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis.
When you have 5 to 10 feet of storm surge, that is not something that you want to be a part of. And Mother Nature is a very fearsome adversary.
President Joe Biden also declared an emergency.
My administration is on alert and in action to help the people of Florida. I've approved Florida's request for emergency assistance immediately upon receiving it from the governor when they received it. And I directed my team to surge federal assistance there before the storm hit. FEMA has already deployed 700 personnel to Florida, and the governor has activated 5,000 state National Guard with another 2,000 guards coming from other states.
Tampa and St. Petersburg could get their first direct hit by a major hurricane since 1921. FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell warned Hurricane Ian will linger over Florida, causing even more damage.
Ian is moving toward western Florida at approximately 12 miles per hour. And at this time, we are expecting landfall somewhere between Fort Myers and Tampa. By the time it reaches the shores of Florida, the storm is going to slow down to approximately 5 miles per hour. And this is significant because what this means is that Floridians are going to experience the impacts from this storm for a very long time.
Criswell says officials are anticipating significant rainfall, up to 25 inches in some isolated parts of the state. European Union's top diplomat says the bloc suspects damage to 2 underwater natural gas pipelines with sabotage and is warning of retaliation for any attack on Europe's energy networks. Energy companies are beefing up security. Seismologists say that explosions rattled the Baltic Sea before unusual leaks were discovered on 2 underwater natural gas pipelines running from Russia to Germany. The Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipelines are leaking but are not currently delivering fuel to Europe. They stand to decimate the ocean environment. I'm Christina Onnested reporting for Pacifica Radio.